Alright, this next book right here is called Expressing the Human Body. This is basically more about strength training, teaching you the basics you need to know in how to train your body to become a martial artist. Alright, there's a difference between training your body to be, athletic for football, basketball, or bodybuilding, and etc. Alright, but Bruce Lee, specifically, this book is about training your body to become a martial artist. And it's a different type of training. Everybody, depending on what your goals are, you're going to have to train according to what your goals are. If you're going to be a marathon runner, then you're going to train different than if you're going to be a sprinter. Right? If you're going to be a football player, you're going to train different than a bodybuilder. If you're going to be um, a martial artist, you're going to have to train a specific way in order to become the best that you can be in your martial art and what you practice. And this book is a good foundation to show you, the basics of strength training and how to train your body in order to be the best that you can be in martial arts. Next book right here, the Bruce Lee story, is just more about just his personal life more than anything, just to get to know Bruce Lee more as a person more than anything. Same thing right here, Fighting Spirit, just to get to know more about Bruce Lee as a person. Alright, Legendary Bruce Lee. This book, it's just a book just to give you just the basics about Bruce Lee. I guess it's something good to start off with too. Alright, the Jeet Kune Do, alright, commentaries. This book is more advanced. You're going to have to know more about martial arts and about Bruce Lee in order to understand this. Okay, anything Jeet Kune Do related is going to be more difficult to understand. It wouldn't be something good to start off with. You're going to have to get a better understanding. Probably read more of the basic books first before you read this. The Warrior Within. This basically deals mainly with his philosophy, and this is a great book. And the first time I read it, I did not understand it. Alright, so it's something that you shouldn't start off with. It's something that's going to be later on when you start to understand the philosophy more about what he's trying to teach. But once you start to understand it more and you're more educated on it and you read it, it'll definitely be an eye-opener, and it's just a great book to read, about the philosophies of Bruce Lee. Alright, here's another one, Fighting Words. I don't think I've read this one yet, but I just bought it not too, maybe a year ago, but I didn't read this one yet. But this is another book that I got. The Tao of Kung Fu. This is more of a good book to start off with. This is more about how he trained as a traditional martial artist before he developed the Tao of Jeet Kune Do. So the Tao of Kung Fu has more traditional techniques and ways of training, and you'll start to understand how he came from the traditional into Tao of Jeet Kune Do. So this is actually a pretty good book to start off with as far as the combative aspects are concerned. If you are interested in training with me and learning the survival techniques of my art, it's very important that you read, as many Bruce Lee books as you can. You want to, read all the books that I just talked about and this one, and basically understand as much about his way of fighting as you possibly can. And then you'll learn about my way of fighting, and you'll see a lot of similarities, and you'll be able to understand it a lot more, and you'll be able to progress a lot quicker. Okay, so those are all the Bruce Lee books that I own right now, so I went through all that. Here's another book that I read. It's called Kung Fu History, Philosophy, and Technique. It's just basically, I guess, a good book to start off with. This is one of the first books I read after I started reading all the Bruce Lee ones. This is one of the first books that I picked up on, just to teach me more about the philosophy behind the martial arts and stuff like that. So I'd say that this book is a good book to start off with as well. Okay. Alright, come here. I got a wellness way of life. This book is a good fitness book. It's actually a textbook. This is what I went to the course in college about this. Took a course, and it's a good book, textbook, to teach you the basics of fitness. Alright, here's a couple books. Alright, one of the greatest book, the biggest influence in my life is called the Tao Te Ching. Alright, the Tao Te Ching was written by a man called Lao Tzu. Okay, Laotzu. All right, Bruce Lee. The Bruce Lee philosophy, his books introduced me to Tao Te Ching. As soon as I read the Tao Te Ching, my life completely transformed into taking my spiritual journey and getting me to see the truth and understanding life to a great extent. So, Tao Te Ching, you'll see a lot of the books that I own, it deals with the Tao, and it's just an amazing philosophy that this is the foundation to my art, and I believe it's the foundation to all of martial arts. In any of the philosophy videos that you see that of where I'm speaking, a lot of it boils down to the Tao. Okay, so if you study the Tao, you'll understand more about life. You'll understand more about philosophy. You understand more about martial arts. So anything where Tao related, you will learn a lot. So Tao Te Ching is the foundation of that philosophy. Okay, so that's that. With that said, the basics of Tao. I was told about this book by my cousin. It's called the Tao of Pooh, and this is more of like, I guess, a simplified version to help you understand the Tao of Tao Te Ching. And it is a very good book. The Tao of Pooh, it is kind of kiddie, but when you read it, you'll be able to understand it more because he breaks it down into basic simplicity for you to understand it more. And you'll start to understand the philosophy behind it, and basically how it's just amazing to be exposed to something completely different than what you're normally exposed to. And this is a good book to start off with to understand the philosophy of the Tao. Okay, the Tao of Pooh. The next one is called The Tale of Piglet from the same author, Benjamin Hoff. So they're both from Benjamin Hoff, The Tao of Pooh and The Tale of Piglet. The Tale of Piglet is pretty good, but it's not as good as The Tao of Pooh. Okay, but these are good books to start off with to help you understand the philosophy of the Tao. Okay, so there's more books. Here's a book about Buddha. It's a pictorial biography of the Buddha, and I thought this was a great book, a great read, just to help me understand of the life of Buddha. Buddha was an amazing sage, influenced millions and millions of people in the world, and probably one of the smartest and most intelligent and wisest person to ever live. So a lot of the philosophy of the East boils back down to Buddha. So if you study the life of Buddha, you have a good chance of finding your own wisdom. Okay. Alright, so here's some more books on the Tao. Okay. Applied to relationships. So, the couple's Tao Te Ching is applied the Tao to relationships. It's by William Martin. Alright, the parents' Tao Te Ching applies the Tao to parenthood by William Martin as well. Alright, there's Eastern philosophy. Teach yourself Eastern philosophy. This is something that is a good start off for you to understand Eastern philosophy. It's a big, something for the beginner. Okay, it's called Teach Yourself Eastern Philosophy. Alright, this book is good for beginners as well, about understanding the philosophy behind martial arts. It's a national bestseller. It's called The Secret Power Within by Chuck Norris. He will introduce you to the basics of Zen and the philosophy behind Zen. Zen is very closely related to the Tao and Buddha, and it's just everything is interconnected. Okay, so this is a easy read, something good to start off with.